Good morning, everyone. So, it is early here, getting the day started and rolling. This video is going to be focusing on the S2000 and the other S2000 that I just so happen to have on the dyno. So, originally I wanted to cover this S2000 that we're doing our own turbo kit on, that you're going to see in this video too. Since we have the other S2000 on the dyno, I figured, hey, why not? And we also have a new Integra that we're doing some installing some parts on. So this video is going to be all around, I think, just covering that basic stuff. I think I'm going to do a full separate video on the S2000 turbo kit that we are making on the other side. A lot of people have been asking about this kit, so I kind of want to get its own coverage. And I think I'll throw some other stuff in the mix. My mother's air conditioning decided that didn't want to work a couple nights ago. So between running the business and doing all of this stuff, I am also running back and forth. Yesterday on my break, I ran over there. I tried to clean the condenser out. I did clean the condenser out, hoping that that would help. It did not. So I am going to meet up an old buddy that I went to school with, and who just happens to do AC repair. And we're going to try to throw some sealer inside, I believe, and maybe a little more Freon, just so she can get some cold air. My main concern is it's getting a little bit hotter out, and she has a hard time breathing as it is, so I want to get that house comfortable for her. So we'll see if that works and fixes it. If not, she may need a whole new unit, but we'll see. I'll throw some coverage in that too, and we'll go from there. So let's go outside and see what we got going on. So here's the first S2000 that I'm going to show you and that we're working on today, or on the dyno, I should say. Long and the short, we had it on the dyno beforehand. Everything was going smoothly. At the very top end, the air fuels wanted to start going lean for no reason. So I pulled the fuel pump out. We looked at it. Everything looked good. The injectors, now here's the thing. So long story short, this car was won in a raffle, and it had a whole list of pieces that were supposedly installed on this car. One of the things that it was supposed to have was injector dynamic injectors, and they were supposed to be a certain size. Well, they were not. So I talked to the customer and I said, hey, since these injectors are not the right injectors that were supposed to come with the car, let's upgrade them to something that we know, something that we can say, hey, these are good solid injectors. We're not dealing with anything, that we don't know where they came from. Let's see if it fixes the issue. Well, it did not. So at that point, we're fighting in between, okay, well, what else can it be? Are we dealing with, maybe an issue with the fuel lines? The pump, I told the customer, hey, we're just going to replace it, man. If it doesn't fix it, you get a brand new pump, not even going to charge you labor. I'm not concerned about the labor. Just trying to isolate this issue. Of course, we checked everything prior to, made sure voltage and all that stuff was good, and it still didn't want to fix the issue. In this case, yes, we have an injector machine we can test injectors on, don't get me wrong, but real world simulation on the car, the gas in the tank gets heated up. There's some stuff that it's hard to simulate on an injector machine. The other thing too is it's happening at higher RPMs. So, it won't happen down low. It's happening, I think it was about 7,000 and higher RPM. So almost made it 100% to redline, but it wasn't. It was going lean, and we can't have that. So I spoke to the customer and I said, hey man, same deal. The only thing we really had left was the fuel regulator. I said, once again, hey, well, I'm not going to say that they lied about what injectors were in here, but they weren't what was supposed to be in here. I said, I don't know, man. I said, regulators, it had an aeromotive regulator. I said, usually they don't go bad, especially if they're name brand, but there are a bunch of knockoffs of aeromotive products. And I said, hey man, maybe you got a knockoff. Maybe it's that. I said, let's try it. There's really nothing else to try at this point that, instead of just ripping everything apart, doing new lines, I said, let's try this. It's easy. It's up at top. Same deal. Not going to charge you on the labor. I don't care about the labor. I want to fix this problem that's being stubborn. That's hard to find. And, it's one of those things where let's just say the TPS starts acting up. Well, in reality, you really only got 3 issues that it could be: bad TPS, wiring issue, or the actual computer. Well, you can rule stuff out fairly simple. And we also have spare TPSs where we can just, test them really quick. It wasn't that simple, especially with a fueling issue like we're seeing. So, long and the short, new regulator is on. I'm gonna hop in, look at everything, see if anything wants to change, and I'm gonna update you. So, I'll be back. Let's see if that actually fixes it. Now, in between here, and I want to get the coverage because by the time I come over here a little bit later, we'll probably be done with the car. But we have some PRL goodies, and we have the brand new Integra over here. We've done quite a number of these. Really, really nice cars. Inside and out, really, really nice. So we got this over here. Not a lot of people have even seen these or even know that they exist. So just wanted to kind of come over here and cover it really quick. Now I'm going to hop back over in the other S2000, see what it wants to do, and I'll update you guys with that. So I'm definitely seeing a difference in what I was seeing before. I did a pull that you saw, and it's not going lean up top anymore. So I think the problem is fixed. I'm going to continue with the tune. What I was also showing you guys, this engine's got a lot of blow-by. We covered this before too on this car. It was built, not here by us. It was built by someone. We noticed when we took the oil pan off too. They used the wrong length bolts. So when they put the oil pan back on, not only, and I got a link to the video, the bolts are too long and it actually started cracking the block. So, at this point, I'm not going for maximum amount of power. I want to just make sure this thing holds up on the dyno. I will get a video from the back and you'll see the pull and you'll see how much it's smoking. It is smoking a pretty fair amount. And what I was trying to capture was the catch can and that smoke coming out of it. That's blow-by. And I don't want to get into blow-by because I could talk about it probably for at least a good hour or so. Save that for another video, but that's where we're at. So I'm going to continue on. Hopefully it's all fixed with the fueling related issue. Finish this thing up, get it off the dyno, and on to the next one. before I get back out on the S2000, I wanted to do something really quick. I was helping a customer out that had an issue with, he's having a starter issue. Told him exactly how to diagnose it and what he should look for. He's been here before, he's a good customer. Doesn't probably even have to bring this in. If he can't diagnose it, he can. But what I'm going with that, and the S2000 comments I made about the labor, if you never dealt with me before, I'm a business owner, and I don't want to say it like this, but I don't care about the money in a sense. It's going to sound weird. Care about making sure that you're taken care of. This S2000 guy, owner, he's been here plenty of times before. Very good customer. I told him what was going on. I told him it's a very tricky problem. I said, let's just try replacing what we think the likelihood first would be the problem. See if we can get lucky. I'm not going to charge labor. I don't care in that sense. Weird, it's odd. I've been in business now for, it's going to be 23 years at the end of this year. I became successful not only because what we do out there and the work, it's the customer service, it's being real. It's, you know, I'm a blue collar guy myself. I'm not driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari to work every day. Even if I was, my priorities would never change. I was born and raised to help out your fellow man or woman, no matter what, when you can. Of course, that doesn't mean I can do everything for free, but that's how I run my business. Back on the S2000. This one is a wrap. We can make more power, but I told the customer I don't want to risk blowing this thing up. I want him to enjoy it for a little bit. I don't think he got to enjoy it before it came here. You can see how much it is smoking. It is against a white wall, so it's hard to see, but if you look, especially at the end of the pool, you can see how much it is smoking. And like I said, it is just coming out of that catch can. You know, I can't say if it was improperly built or if it was just built loose. It's hard to say. Did forget to mention this one is utilizing one of our turbos, and so is the S2000 next door that we're doing the build on, the turbo build, which I'm going to go over there. And that's about it. I will say one more other thing, and I know I mentioned it now a couple times, but you know, still might be weird to some. Last week we had a customer after the car got off the dyno. He literally asked if he could hug me. That's how happy he was. We had another guy that we figured out an issue that he's been trying to solve. I swear he said 2 years, and we solved it. And when he walked in the door, he literally was almost in tears. That's what it's all about. That's why I started this business 22 years ago. It's, yes, of course, the business doesn't run on that, and we can't pay our bills with that, but that's why I come to work every day. It's about making people happy, seeing a smile on their face, seeing people say, man, I couldn't figure that out, I can't believe you guys did it. And just being happy seeing that their project, the one that was on the dyno, you know, he's nearing completion and all that stuff. So that's what it's all about. It truly is. So we're on the opposite side now. It is after hours. It's a lot easier for me to get video over here after hours because it's nice and quiet. So you can see our turbo kit is being installed on this S2000. We decided to come up with our own turbo kit just because we weren't happy with what was on the market. Installing a bunch of these other turbo kits, they don't fit right. We were actually having to finesse and change some stuff up to get it to fit right. You know, when we're installing something, we want it to be 100%. So if we see something that we can better, you know, we'll call the customer and say, hey man, could we, you know, do this? It's going to be a lot better. What you got to remember is a lot of these kits that you're buying are mass produced. They get shipped to China, and then you get them back and you're hoping everything fits. So the other thing too, if you can't see this bungee cord, well, there's a bungee cord right there. That is actually holding a bunch of the wires together. We painted and cleaned all the rust underneath the battery tray. That is something that the customer wanted us to do, and we definitely can handle. Everything you see here, so with our turbo kit, you can buy the return lines, you can buy the feed lines, all that good stuff. You can buy the turbo manifold. The turbo itself is our own brand turbo. You know, if you're rocking a different turbo or manifold, of course, the return line and setup probably ain't gonna fit. It's gonna need some modification. The intercooler piping, didn't get to that yet. We're gonna remove that, of course. And then what I will say too, that is right over here, our turbo manifolds. So, yes, we make, camera seemed a little blurry there. Yes, we make our own manifolds here. We try to keep them in stock, and the only one right now that we don't have anymore in stock, this is actually cast piece, so we didn't make this here, but this is for the 9th Gen Civic SI. But B series ram horn, this is actually the S2000, same manifold that is right behind me, and the top mount for the B series. So right now we only have the B series, the F series, S2000, the 9th Gen, and B series. We're not throwing any support just yet for the single cam, even though we've been asked. We stopped selling a lot of single cam parts just because there is there's no demand for them. And then, you know, the stuff that we had out there, people, you know, didn't really want to pay for quality parts. You know, they kept saying, well, I can get this, I can get that. And it's like, and let me make this 100% clear. This is not overseas Chinese type manifolds. These will not crack. These are quality welded, quality American made. And people with the single cams didn't seem like they wanted to pay. So that's why we kind of just cut that line up. But, you know, depending on when you're watching this too, you know, these could be back in stock. We try to keep our manifolds always in stock. That's the thing. We really had a hard time right around the pandemic time where we were dealing with another company and they were telling us, hey man, you know, it's going to be about 8 months wait, and we said we can't do that, so we just decided to make them ourselves. So if you need one, let us know. We got you covered. And then going back to the S2000, since we are still in the early stages, I would call it, we do have the dump tube and all the wastegate stuff set up as well, but we had to remove that. So that's what we got going on. That's about it. It seems like this video is just, besides that little Integra that I sneaked in there, all about S2000s. We've been doing a ton. We have some more S2000 projects lined up, on top of everything else that we have going on as well, that I don't cover and feature, which I'm going to be over on those projects too, because they're almost coming to a completion as well. So with that being said, of course, if you guys got any questions or comments, we are here to help. We try to do our best to get back to everybody that sends a comment. Sometimes I don't get notifications, so I will say that. So you can always just hit us up directly. We're on Facebook. You can call us, and if you're local, you can stop in as well. We're also trying to do something really special for locals here shortly. So keep an eye on that. Appreciate everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.